It is no secret that there are many conspiracy theories around the death of Marilyn Monroe. Out of all of them, there are 4 that are the most convincing. The first one states that Marilyn Monroe did not commit suicide, but rather she was forced to take the drugs that killed her and then left to die, by none other than John F. and Robert F. Kennedy. Both of the Kennedys are heavily featured in a lot of the murder conspiracies around Marilyn Monroe, and it is no secret that both of them were unfaithful and had an affair with Marilyn Monroe. Back in 2007, an Australian filmmaker found an FBI document that suggests that both the Kennedys were involved in inducing Marilyn Monroe's suicide. It also implicated that there was a slew of other people involved, from the Kennedys' brother-in-law, top right, Peter Lawford, to Monroe's psychiatrist, top left, Dr. Ralph Greenson, housekeeper Eunice Murray with the glasses, and to my left, Agent Pat Newcomb. The plot was carried out because apparently Marilyn threatened to reveal her affairs with the Kennedy brothers, and this was a liability because she also kept track of highly confidential conversations in a little red book. The second conspiracy theory involving the death of Marilyn Monroe states that the Mafia did it, but what you need to know is that just because the Mafia is involved does not mean the Kennedys are cleared. Crooked Union leader Jimmy Hoffa on the left and Chicago Mafia boss Sam Giancana on the right ordered that Marilyn Monroe's house be bugged by a renowned wiretapper named Bernard Spindle. On the night of Marilyn's death, Robert F. Kennedy claimed to be in San Francisco, even though there were claims of him being in LA. To make it even more sketchy, Spindle claimed to hear through the wiretap Robert F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe fighting, with Peter Lawford present, and then he heard a loud bang, which many believe is the moment that she died. But all recordings were seized and destroyed in 1966. Mafia plays a role in all this because Marilyn allegedly had a relationship with one of Sam Giancana's henchmen, and he wanted her dead because she was threatening to expose all of the operations. Supposedly 5 Mafia hitmen were hired, knocked her out with chloroform, and then injected her with the drug that apparently killed her. Although the Mafia had a reason, many think that Robert hired them. Did Marilyn Monroe know too much about aliens? Today I'm going to take a look into the third conspiracy theory of how Marilyn Monroe might have died. In the documentary Unacknowledged, Dr. Stephen Greer, here on my left, discusses that he thinks Marilyn Monroe was murdered by the CIA because she knew too much about a UFO crash. The UFO crash in question is the Roswell UFO crash in New Mexico. In the documentary, Stephen Greer produces a confidential CIA memo that was apparently written 2 days before Marilyn Monroe died. Greer believes that the memo refers to the Roswell crash, and that apparently JFK told Marilyn Monroe that he saw things from outer space at a secret airbase. Greer states that there was a ton of documents and a wiretap of Marilyn Monroe the day before she died that haven't been declassified. Apparently, Marilyn Monroe was threatening to hold a press conference to reveal everything JFK told her during Pillow Talk, that he saw debris from an extraterrestrial vehicle. Greer then states, and I quote, "She was murdered for this, because of Pillow Talk." Is Marilyn Monroe still alive? A lot of conspiracy theorists are convinced that Marilyn Monroe's death was staged. One man claims that Marilyn Monroe's death was staged by her psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson. After staging her death, he then committed her to a mental institution in New Brunswick, Canada. This was because she had a huge mental breakdown after receiving so many death threats. John Alexander Baker, the author of Marilyn Monroe, Alive in 1984, believes that she stayed in the mental institution for about 20 years without being recognized before she was released. According to the outline of the book, Baker says he picked up a hitchhiker on the side of the road that claimed to be Marilyn Monroe, who was now homeless, frightened, and a paranoid schizophrenic. Hitchhiker talked to him about how she used to be a movie star, and he even said how much she looked like Marilyn Monroe and how much her singing voice resembled Marilyn's. Even if it were true, Baker admits that the woman's mental state would make the story hard to believe. But Baker said that he was 99% sure that the woman was Marilyn Monroe.